Okay. Assalamualaikum to my respectful lecturer, Dr. Noh Haslinda binti Ali. So my name is Liyatul Zaheera binti Ramlee. So today my metric number is 198628. So today I'm going to present to you about my assignment 1, which is the summary of the research article paper that I have chosen. Okay, so this is my research article's title, which is Moving Beyond Probabilities, the Strength of Knowledge Characterizations Applied to Security. So when we heard about this topic, we know that it is about the applied probabilities in the security field. So this article was taken from the journal with the title Reliability Engineering and System Safety. So in a simple word, I'm doing the summarization of the research article in the engineering field. So this is like a bit of my article's front page. So as you can see here, this is the name of the authors, which is the Tora Askaden, the Roger Flake, and the Treasure Evan. So for your information, this research article was published in 2017. And this article is mainly focusing on the applied probabilities in the security field management. So before we going deeper into the research article paper, so I'm going to share to you about a bit about the introduction of this research article paper. So this is the literature review or the introduction of this research article, which is first of all, before this, most of the security experts like have a doubt or skepticism in applying the probabilities concept in the security setting. They assume that in probabilities, there is all about the frequency probabilities, which is clearly not applicable in the security field, security risk management field. So, however, some researchers prove that the decision-making probabilities is relevant to be applied in the security risk field. So, yeah, before this security aspect, the people with which is expert in the security really not really have not trust in the probabilities to be applied in the security risk management field, because they think the probability is all about the frequency, it's all about the fraction, it's all about how we want to estimate the future event based on the previous event. So that's why they don't trust the probabilities to be applied in the security risk management. However, some researchers have proved that actually the decision-making probability, the subjective probability, is really relevant to be applicable in this security risk field. So next is the problem statement of this research article paper. So basically, there was a previous scheme or system that have been developed before. So this previous scheme consists of the knowledge assessment as presumption reasoning, sum of proven data, the consensus between the security expert, and interpretation of the related situation. Even so, the application of the previous scheme is too general and it is only limited to the safety field, while the security field have many more fields than safety. So previously, there was some researchers have already introduced a system. The system is consists of the combination of the knowledge in the probabilities along with the knowledge of the security from the security aspect. So they combine these two things in the previous system. However, the application of the previous system is that the system is too general and the system is only focusing on the security field. So as we know, as only focusing on the safety field. So as we know, in the security field, it is not only limited to safety field. There are many more fields under the security fields that we can focus on. So basically, the researchers in this research article want to introduce a better system that might cover overall of the security field. So next is the objective. So therefore, the objective of this research article paper is to introduce a better system or a better scheme and show its application in the security risk management. So in this research article, the researchers will introduce a better system to be used in the security risk management. And also the researchers have shown its application on this scheme by presented the two case studies in this case, which is the first one is about the theft in the art museum case study. The second one is about the terrorists on the railway station, which we will be looking at it after this. Okay, so next is the methodology. So of course, the researchers have applied a few of statistical methods along the way, along the research article papers, along this research article paper. So first of all, the researchers have used the conditional probability. So conditional probability is a measure of the probability of an event occurring given that another event has already occurred. So specifically in this research article paper, the conditional probability was applied to estimate the probability of the future event based on the previous event. For instance, in the first case study, which is in the theft from art museum case study, the probability theft of artwork was estimated by using the conditional probability method. So, as I mentioned before, there are two case studies that have been presented by the researcher in this research paper, which is the first one is the theft from art museum. So in the theft from art museum, the researchers have collected the data, the knowledge of the regarding the theft event from the security expert, and then combine it with the conditional probability method to get the probability of the theft of artwork. Yes, so that's how the researchers apply the conditional probability in this research article paper. So secondly, the researchers have used the Markov inequality. So Markov inequality give an upper bound for the probability that a non-negative function of a random variable is greater than or equal to some positive constant. For example, in this research article paper, in the second case study, in the terrorist attack on the railway station case study, the Markov inequality was used to find the upper bound, which is then was used to obtain the lower bounds for the risk measure. So of course, in the security risk management field, the researchers need to measure the risk of some traits, need to measure the risk of some events that might happen in the future. So in order to do that, in the second case study, in the terrorist attack on the railway station case study, the researchers have applied the Markov inequality to get the upper bound and then to get the lower bound of the risk measure in order to get the risk measure. So that's how the researchers have used the Markov inequality in this research article paper. And last but not least, in general, this research article have used the inferential statistic. The researchers have used had used the inferential statistic method in their research article. So inferential statistic or decision making statistic is like the combination of the previous data along with the knowledge and assumption from the security expert itself. So from that, from these two things, and then the probability and the decision was made. So for instance, in the first case study, which is the theft from art museum case study, the probability theft of artwork was estimated by using the previous data and assumption from the expert. So basically how the researchers make obtain the probability and make a decision is based on, of course, the previous data that or the previous or the knowledge that they got it from the security expert, and then they combine it with the statistical method, knowledge of statistical method, and that's how they get the probabilities, and that's how from the probability they make the decision. Okay, so next is the results. So these two tables show us like the summary of the two case studies presented by the researcher in this research article. So this table 3 show the summary of risk assessment of theft from art museum. The second table is about the summary of risk assessment of attack on the railway station. So we will be focusing on the table 3. So for example, as you can see here, this is the specified events, the traits. Okay, we have the A for theft of artwork, we have A1, the theft of painting B1, and we have A2, the theft of painting B2. So this is the specified consequences or the values. This is the uncertainty measure, which is the probabilities, and this is the strength of knowledge assessment, SOK. So the SOK is the system that we are talking about now. So the SOK, like will play a very vital role in this current system. So, for example, I will explain to you. For example, this is the theft of artwork. So this is the probability of the theft of artwork, which is 0.005. So from there, we can see that the probability theft of artwork is 0.005. But from beside this column, we have the SOK assessment. This is moderate weak. So what is mean by moderate weak? Okay, moderate stand for that it is showing that the researchers have the moderate knowledge in the models, the data, like in the statistical field, and the weak knowledge means that the researchers have the weak knowledge in the from the security aspect, assumptions, and knowledge. So that's meaning that this better system will give us like a clear result and understandable result. For example, if we're just looking at the table, we're just looking at probability and as okay assessment, we can know like how to be prepared on the upcoming event, upcoming trend. For example, if you know, okay, this is theft of artwork, the probability theft of artwork will happen in the future is 0.005. However, looking at the SOK assessment beside it, it is moderate weak. So we can know at what level or what degree we should trust the result and what safeguarding plan, what backup plan that we should have in order to prepare to facing the theft of artwork in the future. So that's how the the current system works. Okay, so next is the conclusion. So as a conclusion, of course, the current system introduced in this research article paper is a way better from the previous system because this scheme it is more systematic, consistent, and clear, so that from the result they get, the researchers can use the result, can use the probability, can use the SOK assessment to predict the future threat, to predict the future event in the security risk management. Thus, with no doubt anymore, the subjective or the decision-making probability is really applicable in the security risk management field, as it will give order in the security field, such as the kills, the warning, the safeguarding plan, the threats, and etc. So in a simple word, of course, this current system is like I mentioned in the previous slide, it is more systematic, it is more clear, it is so understandable. When we just look at the summary of the table, we like already like 80% can understand what will happen next. And then this kind of like decision making probability and subjective probability is really suitable in the security risk because it will give like a ranking and or like and priority to us on what we will do. For example, if we know that the probability of terrorists to be happen is 0.005, but along with the SOK assessment that we get from the result, we can know at what level we can trust that probability, at what level we have to be prepared to in order to facing that kind of terrorist. So that's why meaning by we can order, we can ranking, we can prioritize our like safeguarding plan, backup plan in order to face the threats in the upcoming future. So we have come to the end of my presentation. So this is like the references list that I have been used in order to produce my assignment. So first of all, of course, this research article itself, which is the moving beyond probabilities, strength of knowledge characterization applied to the security. And then the second one I have is the Wikipedia website, which is I refer to have to define the Markov inequality. And the third one is the doctor's slide, which is the library usage and information readable. So that's all for my presentation today. So I hope and I wish doctor over there will doing good and stay safe at home. So that's all. Thank you and assalamualaikum.